Ever since its release in September of last year, Destiny has been a source of much divisiveness in the gaming community. Lots of people think that it's not very good, that it was an overhyped piece of rubbish, whereas lots of people who enjoy the game say that it's good, and they say while they acknowledge it has problems, they say it's very good still, and lots of people are excited for where Destiny's going to go, what new content and stuff they're going to add to it. I think both sides have valid arguments. However, I fall on the side of the people who think that Destiny is good. I didn't watch that many trailers and stuff for the game before it came out. Like, I watched a few trailers, and I was super excited for it when it was first properly shown off. But I didn't think it's going to be this massive, huge MMO-sized world. People were expecting it to be like World of Warcraft size, and I thought, no, they're not going to do that. The main problem that any game that would be set in an MMO setting in the future is that you can't. It'd be hard to do multiple planets and have it be fully free roaming still. Star Wars Galaxies had that problem when it came out, but I think the reason why I enjoy it a lot, and it's one of the things that a lot of people don't seem to understand about the game, is they think a lot of people keep making this misconception. I've found in like comments and stuff on videos, people who bought the game they were expecting it to be an MMO. They were expecting it to be like World of Warcraft, and even though in all the trailers the developers said it was a shared experience shooter, it's more in line with how Borderlands plays, except just with a hell of a lot better gunplay. But it has MMO elements. It's got daily things you can do. It's got raids and stuff. It's got the strikes, which are essentially like instance dungeons and stuff. It definitely has MMO elements, but it is predominantly a shared experience shooter in the vein of Borderlands. It's a loot and shoot. Not a loot and shoot. A shoot and loot game, and it's a really good shoot and loot game. Ever since they fixed the loot system. The loot system wasn't broken. How you get engrams and stuff was perfectly fine. That's in line with most loot games. When they drop loot and stuff, you're going to get the trash, then you're going to look out for the good stuff. It happens in Diablo. It happens in Borderlands. The only problem with it was that when you get these things called engrams, which contain the blueprints and stuff for a random weapon, if you got a blue engram, which is a rare engram, you could occasionally get a green from it instead. And if you got a purple engram, you would most likely get a blue from it. Purple engrams are legendary, and you wouldn't want to just get a rare. And so it's a bit frustrating it was a bit frustrating when you busted your hump for ages, hoping to get a legendary engram, and then what do you get from the legendary engram? Oh, you get a blue. Yeah, fuck, that's great. How can this turn into dimmer? They fixed that. Now the only engrams that can turn to anything below what their colour is the greens, and the green engrams only can't be decrypted after you complete the storyline, because when you pick it up you automatically get a green item anyway. The blue engrams will always be blue and above, and purple engrams will always be purple items and above, and they also decrease the rate at which you get crafting items from them. One of the main complaints I hear from people about Destiny as well is the PvP, them saying it's unbalanced. I don't think it's unbalanced at all. It can be some of the weapons, like the Vex Mytha class, which is overpowered and needs nerfing properly for multiplayer. Some of the exotic weapons are overpowered for PvP, but the only things that actually start making weapons overpowered in PvP is not their damage. All weapons do the exact same damage in terms of class. All sniper rifles will do the same amount of damage as other sniper rifles, same with assault rifles and other weapons and stuff like that. No, what affects the damage and stuff is the upgrades that you have on them. A damage upgrade on a weapon will actually mean that it will cause more damage than another assault rifle, because the upgrades on it will cause it to go above that. But seeing that everyone else will probably have their own upgraded equipment as well, it's a matter of who's got better equipment and loadouts and stuff. What is unbalanced, I've heard, I know I had a chance to play it myself, was the Iron Banner, where all weapons and armour they will actually go by their defense stats and their attack stats. So if your weapon does 337 damage when you hit someone, it will do 337 damage when you hit them, so long as you can get through their armor value. So yeah, I don't really think PvP is over. It's not unbalanced. It's good. It's like playing what I played of Halo multiplayer, when I had the chance, when I played on the mate's Xbox once. It's like Halo multiplayer. Lots of skill. It's a matter of trying to be accurate to get headshots instead of just auto-aiming towards them. And the fact that you can choose your loadout and stuff from weapons which you have looted from the game is really satisfying. It's really satisfying to take your exotic weapon into the PvP and just own an enemy team because you worked and busted your ass to get that weapon. And also you get loot from it. It's random who gets what at the end of each match, but it's a good incentive to keep playing. You can get legendary stuff from it. I got a sniper, one of my favourite exotic weapons, Patience and Time. I got it through getting a legendary special weapon engram from the Crucible, and it gave me an exotic weapon. So I was super happy when that happened. So yeah, the PvP is good. It could do with a few more maps, I guess, but the maps that are there are good. The modes are great. I know that technically you could say Control is just essentially a variation on Team Deathmatch with a bit of like domination and stuff from Call of Duty and stuff like that. But other than that, the modes are good and fun. People say there's not much to explore in terms of the size of the world. I have to disagree with that. Whilst the areas aren't like massive and expansive like Skyrim, they're still well detailed, there's still stuff to discover, and they're well designed and well laid out. They're like really well laid out levels from something like Halo, or going back a bit, something like Time Splitters, in terms of just the levels are really well thought out. The locations are big, they're expansive. You can drive your Sparrow across them for it can take a while to drive your Sparrow from one side of the map to the other. And they're all well thought out in terms of like where cover's located, where enemies and stuff spawn. The only real problem I have with the worlds is, it's another problem that some people have as well, I can see what they mean, is that the same mobs of enemies spawn in the same locations, which can get not boring, but it's just, you know, you can be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go against these enemies here. And yeah, it would be nice if there was a bit of randomization, but the public events do help with that, where like say something like a war stat might fall from the sky, you have to kill a specific enemy. Or one of my favourite ones is on Venus, where you have to stop Vex from sacrificing themselves at this altar by standing at the top of the hill and blasting them. So there is still plenty of stuff to do, and what's nice when they make the add-ons and stuff, what I've noticed with Dark Below, especially on the Moon and on the Earth, there are randomly spawning groups of Tough Hide, which is quite nice. You can get the Blade of Crota from them and use the sword, but I won't go too much into Dark Below. I'm just going to talk about Destiny for now. Also, one of the things I really like about the maps as well, the locations are great in terms of when you're on patrol, you get these little random missions to do, like go to this location, scan something, or kill this number of enemies, or collect this item from enemies, stuff like that. I know this is basic stuff, but it's fun to do. It distracts you and it gives you excuses to drive around, and it's a goal to set yourself whilst you try grind for things like engrams and weapons, or you know, experience and stuff, and also you get reputation from it. So there is good tangible rewards to it. In terms of weapon variety, I think there's a great weapon variety in the game. There's assault rifles, sniper rifles, pulse rifles, you know, rocket launchers, heavy machine guns. There's lots of great weapons in it, so it's not exactly like the game's lacking in weapon variety either. One of the only problems I can see some people have with the game is there is not a lack, but I would like a lot more content. I understand they're going to be constantly adding content to it over the next few years, but yeah, it could do with more, I think, a lot more, and it could do with some nice big expansive add-ons. But as much as I'd want more content, the stuff that's there isn't bad. The missions are well thought out, they're well structured. I know people just keep saying, oh, let's go here, defend Ghost and stuff, but I've only actually found like 5 of those out of the, must be like over about 20 or so story missions where you have to do that. A lot of them are different from that, and it is good, well thought out missions. It's just a shame there's not more things like quest chains and stuff, like when you get exotic bounties. That's great when you get exotic bounties and stuff, because you get these quest chains where you have to go and do specific things and you get a reward at the end of it. One of my favourite weapons, the exotic fusion rifle called Pocket Infinity, is brilliant when I first got it, because I got this quest chain where I had to go out and kill a certain number of enemies with a fusion rifle in the Nightfall strikes. That was great because it was a really nice, tough challenge that I could do, which would get me a nice big reward at the end. I had different stages to it after that. I had to kill certain enemies in a certain way with the fusion rifles, so I had to keep gathering these stuff. And there's more quest trains like that for exotic weapons. And so I hope they add more actual quests to the game. I know they've done something similar in Dark Below, with the Urn of Sacrifice mission, which is really good fun. So just more quest chains like that would be great, and if they have more stuff like that in the next add-on, or just in big updates and stuff, or if they just make an add-on or an update which puts in a hell of a load of new quest chains and stuff, I would be really happy, because that would be excellent. It would make my day. Also, I would say increase the number of like public events and stuff as well, because whilst the ones that there's a nice variety of them, just a few more would be nice just to discover. So yeah, I think to finalise, do I think Destiny's bad? No. Do I think Destiny's good? Yes, I think it's actually one of the better games to come out in 2014. 2014 seems to be a year when everyone gets really disappointed about games, but there's a few games which I've played over the last few months when they came out that everyone said was awful, but I really liked. Like Assassin's Creed Unity, Little Big Planet 3. I got Little Big Planet 3 for Christmas, love it. But it's just the main reason why I think people don't like Destiny is because for some people they expected the game to be something different and to what it was, because like I say, some people were expecting it to be like an MMO, and it turned out to be something more akin to Borderlands in terms of being a shoot and loot grindy game. But how the game was marketed was not very well done, I think, because I saw it on a video by a guy by the channel Datto Does Destiny. If you're a fan of Destiny, I recommend watching Datto Does Destiny. Does good videos. Reviews of his exotic weapon reviews are very good. But anyway, he said that, and I think I agreed with him, because he said that he thinks Destiny is great, and he just thinks that the marketing team who marketed Destiny just marketed it as a shooter and not what it really was. And he said it was a real shame that they did that, because by marketing it as a shooter, they gave the wrong impression to the audiences that might like things like Call of Duty and Halo. Whereas if they'd marketed it more towards both the MMO crowd and the people who like things like Borderlands and stuff, it would have done better, I think, because the people who enjoyed shooters and stuff, I have several people who I know who said that when they played it, they didn't like the grindy elements of it. They didn't like having to work to get better equipment and stuff, and they said they were hoping it was more like something like Halo, and just multiple worlds to go to and stuff. And I was just like, well, that's not the kind of game it is. I think also everyone was expecting it to be like the best game ever made, because obviously it's made by Bungie, and Bungie have made some good games, especially in the Halo series. Although personally, I think the only real excellent ones in the Halo series are the first one and Reach, but that's besides the point. They have made some really good games, and Destiny, it's a really good shooter. The shooting mechanics are excellent. I can go through the same missions over and over again because the shooting is so much fun, and it's fun to grind towards extra loot. And people were just expecting it to be like the next Halo in terms of just how amazing and revolutionary it is. Whereas instead of being revolutionary, Destiny does what it does very well, but doesn't need to change everything too much. It does it very well, in my opinion. Could it do it better? Oh hell yeah! Any game could do anything better. Even The Last of Us could do things better. But in terms of being a game, it's a very good game. The gameplay is excellent. Like, I understand these days, especially for me as well, story in game is very important. For a game to be good, it has to have a good story as well. But for me though, a game can have a really good story but lackluster gameplay, and I'll still find it a good game. Whereas with me as well, if a game's got really good gameplay but a slightly lackluster story, I'm not going to hold the story against the game if it plays really well. It's like Shadow of Mordor. The story's okay, it's good, it's not brilliant, but the gameplay is what I'm really there for. So with Destiny, that's what it's like with me. The shooting, the looting, and the grinding is really good. So, end of the day, I think Destiny's a really good game. Can't wait for more content. No hate towards me, no bad comments, please. I understand that some people don't like it. I personally enjoy it. Hope you agree with me. If you want people who enjoy it, good for you. If you want people who doesn't enjoy it, good for you as well. I have enjoyed telling you my thoughts about Destiny. See you in the next video.